Hello. It is my pleasure to present this piece, The Role of Theory in Finance Research, for the Future Direction section of the Financial Review. This piece originates from a lecture that I gave 2 years ago in the summer school of the Finance Theory Group at the University of Washington. Back then, the organizers of the summer school asked me to give the opening lecture and talk to the participants about what theory is and what it is meant to achieve. I thought very hard about some of the fundamental principles of what we do in research. What is theory? What can it accomplish? Why it is so important? What are some of the challenges with theory? How do we judge a good theory paper? What about the tension between theoretical research and empirical research? What are some of the opportunities for theory going forward? I talked to many colleagues about these issues after giving this presentation and other presentations. And I summarized some of these thoughts and conclusions in this piece for future direction. As you can see, I talk about what theory is essentially and how it boils down to mathematical formalism. I talk about why we need mathematical formalism for theory in finance and economics. I provide some key examples from the history of finance research about the success of mathematical formalism and theory in finance, starting from the Modigliani-Miller theory of capital structure, or the CAPM theory, or theories of bank runs and banking, or theories of information and trading in financial markets. These are examples, prominent examples. There are, of course, many other examples. I discuss why mathematical formalism was so crucial to help us deliver key insights in these models, and that without mathematical formalism, we would not have been able to have such a deep understanding, an understanding that was very important for practice, for policy, and for empirical research. I also talk about the challenges with theory research in finance and in economics. The fact that theorists are sometimes too focused on their models and maybe not thinking enough about the translation to the real world. I provide some of my views on how these issues can be alleviated. I then try to tackle the question of what makes a good theory paper, how we sometimes face a trilemma, because we want to have reasonable assumptions, thoughtful and value-added analysis, and also results that can speak to what we see in the real world. I talk about the fact that it is critical to maintain reasonable assumptions and that having analysis with value added is also crucial. If we sometimes get results that cannot be immediately confirmed in data, I don't think that's a problem. I think this only opens the door for more research going forward. Importantly, I also talk about some of the opportunities that theory research has going forward. The world around us is constantly changing. We see new phenomena, AI in finance, ESG in financial markets, big data, blockchain, financial technology more generally. We need to understand how all these things are going to affect financial markets and firms. Data is not enough. We would not be able to understand the implications of these phenomena just with data. We cannot interpret the data without theory. We need to continue and find new, innovative theories to understand some of these phenomena. And I discuss many of the opportunities that theorists have for future research with these phenomena in mind. I think it is critical to think about these issues these days. With all the new data that we have, with all the new empirical methods that we have, empirical research is becoming ever more prominent, and that's good. But it's also important to remember the role of theory. And I hope that this piece helps us all think along these lines. We need to think harder about promoting theory and providing the conditions for young scholars to feel that they can develop careers in this profession based on their success as theorists. I hope that you all find it helpful, and this is going to stimulate new debate. Thank you.